Welcome to Whole Lotta Craft, episode 59. On today's show, we are going to catch up with Sue and Julia and also answer some of our podcast watchers' questions. Join us! Hello!
Hi!
It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yep, it is. And
I keep getting distracted by looking around because it's so pretty out. I'm supposed to be looking at you.
Yes, we should introduce ourselves.
Hi, I'm Sue.
I'm Julia, and this is a Whole Lotta Craft. But we are outside today because it's, a week ago we're complaining about it being freezing cold and wearing sweaters, and now here we are.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, we're at a house across the street from me, which is actually owned by our local college. So we get the benefit of using their gorgeous park.
We do.
It's really nice.
I was actually debating yesterday if I was allowed to put away all my snow shovels.
I know.
I left one out to keep the snow away.
Ours are out, so along with a couple of sleds, just in case. I think the worst is past us.
Yes, I think spring is here. Just maybe some cold nights yet.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
So today we're going to look like models.
Yeah, the
with our hair. Oh, we couldn't stand being inside. So
yeah, so enjoy the warmth with us. Did you do anything? I know it's only been a little while since our last one. Did you bring anything that you
I
finished?
did actually bring something that I think cool. I whipped these little puppies up.
Oh no!
I dropped it. These are my little baseball earrings.
This is so fun.
Because I coach softball, and the girls are not allowed to wear jewelry, but, that doesn't mean I can't look gorgeous when I'm yelling at them to run fast at first. So I made these cute little baseball earrings, and it's red for our team color.
That's neat. Did you make the little wire too?
No, I didn't. I had these wires. I don't know where I got them, but I had the ear wire. It is a fun shape, though.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like it a lot.
It sets back a little bit underneath your ear. So I made those.
Huge. They're a good weight too.
Yes, they are. And I just brought along some inspirations I'm looking for.
Okay.
I have these. I found these on my studio table.
Oh, how cool.
And so I'm trying to figure out what to do with them. They're kind of funny where their attachment is. So I was debating, I want to make a necklace. So I'm debating this. Or I would ideally like them like this, but the wire is funky. I'm going to have to do some eye pins and attach it to the wire or something. So I haven't quite decided, and I might actually use some of these little golds to go with it. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But right now I'm just in the design phase of figuring out what I want to do with those.
That blue is brilliant. I love it.
It is. It was, something I picked up at Michael's on sale eons ago, and I came across it and said, darn it, it's time to do something with this. And I also have these that I'm working towards. I bought these at last year when I went to Bead Fest in Philadelphia. There are all these little flowers.
Oh, cool.
So I think I'm going to link them together.
I could see that being almost a chainmail-ish look too.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. I could link them together for a choker. I was thinking a real long necklace with something sparkly in between. Make them like that.
Oh yes, that would be nice.
That would be cool to do,
like
just
that.
Jump rings and link them. Oh, I might have to do that. Maybe we'll do that together because there's an awful lot of them here.
Yeah, that's really neat. I like that a lot. You have a lot of them to play with. You could do several different ideas.
Yeah, so that's what I'm working toward right now.
Cool.
How about you?
Well, I have left. I have a couple whips, but the one I've been working on mostly because I finished some things. This guy is almost done. The ball keeps getting smaller.
That's good.
So here's the remainder. It's about. I don't know. It's not much. It's just such pretty colors. So this is almost done, and I can't wait for it to be finished because the weather's just right now to start taking pictures. So that I will get done this week. And that's going to be my main work in progress. This next little bit, and I have a couple other things I've done, a row or two here or there. But I was working hard on finishing up some stuff because, of course, this week is my daughter's birthday. So I needed to finish her sweater. And it is done. It just needs to be blocked. So here we have
Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I like this thing right down the middle.
There's the hood up up on top. And this was a different kind of hood construction than I've ever done before, so it was really kind of fun. It's like a little, it reminds me almost of a bonnet with the, with the panel on the top there.
Yeah.
Ooh, I gotta fix that. See the things you do at night, and then you look at it in the day. A little bit of a hole there, but I can cover that up. I have extra yarn. So
just put a bird on it.
yeah. So this
So
is
when we
her.
looked at this last time, you
did.
said you were starting the pocket. So you had done this part?
I had.
And then the pocket just poop.
Yes, the pocket is a kangaroo, so it's an extra panel on the front. And then I just attached them at the bottom together. So that's,
Yeah, I didn't notice the panel of it in the last time we looked at it.
yeah, it was like maybe here.
Okay.
It wasn't very much of it, but it's solid behind it. And then I did the hood, and so it's good to go. I just got to fix that little spot and wash it and block it. And I have till Friday, so
You're ahead of schedule?
I am. So I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to see what she thinks. And
I think it's beautiful. I'm sure she'll love it.
yeah, she actually had her sweater on from 2 years ago today. So this kid's worthy. I'm okay with making her stuff.
And she still fits in it.
Yeah, it was pretty oversized when we made it. We did it on purpose to be big. So it's not as long as it was, but it still fits her because it's just an open front. Okay. So yes, that still works. And then I finished up my next hexagon. Probably hard to see because the center is very, very light. I did it in a gradient. Can you help me pull it straight? So you can kind of see the colors a little bit more.
Nice.
It goes from very light in the center to darker around the outside edges, and it's more of a geometric this time. So that's number 4. We're getting there. And then I did actually finish some spinning that I started back like October, I think. But that's what this is.
Oh my gosh.
And that's a loop bump, gradient bump. It's called Wildflowers. I think it's very appropriate.
It is very appropriate. And it's also, you did such a nice job. It's so
Thank you.
even.
It's a Navajo plied, so it's plied back on itself like a chain ply. And I got 397 yards out of it.
Wow.
So I haven't measured the actual weight of it yet, so I'm not sure if it's a sport or a heavy fingering.
Well, I think you did a fabulous job on it. It's also, I can't believe how even it is.
Yeah, and once I washed it and everything, it actually hangs without a lot of extra. Like normally it will curl up on itself when I'm done, and this one's lying really nicely. So I think I got the twist pretty good, considering how long it sat. Maybe that's the key. Let your yarn sit for 4 months before you apply it, and it will be good.
Maybe, but you're onto something.
Yeah, this has some silk in it and some bamboo and some wool, and it was very fun to spin. Just I lost that.
That's okay. Sometimes you have to let projects go for them to turn out nicely. If you force it,
Yeah.
it doesn't work well.
So now I got to figure out what to do with this. This is, yeah. It's always what do you do with it after you make it? And there's so many thousands and millions of beautiful patterns out there that I want to pick the very best one. I'm going to end up sitting on it for a while again until I'm like, oh yeah, that's.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Or starting to take out and start again. So yeah. So I made it to the Fiber Festival.
And how was it?
It was very fun. Did you? You didn't end up going?
I did not. I had way too many things packed into my weekend.
Yeah, my mom had never been before, so this was her first fiber experience, and she walked around with eyes the size of saucers, and just because there was so much beautiful stuff and so many things to choose from, and if you're not familiar with the process of shopping in a market like that, it can get pretty overwhelming.
Did she end up buying anything?
She did. Yeah, actually she bought a bag, which I kind of told her she had to because she's been carrying her knitting in a brown paper bag with a handle. And I'm worried that it's gonna, like, because she's using the big long needles, that it's gonna poke a hole in it and then everything will fall out. And that's, that's a shame to have everything get lost or ruined because you don't have the right bag. So she bought a really cute red bag with sheep on it. So,
Nice.
and it's got a drawstring at the top, so she put all her stuff in. And Ted was there, so we bought some stuff from a natural alternative because you just can't not buy nice things from her, soaps and lotions and things. And then I can show you guys my acquisitions
Yes.
if you want.
Yes. We want to see. What did you get? What did you get? quick coffee break.
Yeah, I got you.
We now return to your regularly scheduled program.
So I bought from dyers I'd never heard of before, which I think is probably the best thing to do when you're at a place like that. This is from Groovy Hughes Fibers, and she's from Long Island.
Like the car, the business card.
Yeah, it's got some crazy stuff on it.
It looks like Easter eggs.
She said that she's never seen this knit up, so that's my goal, is to finish up the sock and then put this one on. It's called Cuddly and Groovin' Sock Yarn. It's superwash merino and nylon in the Speckleberry Sunday color. So it's really fun, and it's got 463 yards, so I can do something really good with that. So that was really fun. That was the first one. Actually, I just realized the guy right next to her, I bought a shawl pin with a ginseng leaf on it. But I'll put a picture up because I forgot to bring it over, and it's too small for you to see the detail anyway. But he was really amazing. He did a lot of metal work, leaves, and he had a chainmail pot that he made her basket. 10 pounds of chain.
Oh my god!
That thing, and you were hoisting it up. I mean, it was beautiful, but it was a work of.
It's raining
love.
flowers on us.
So that was the first one I got, and the second one, I just couldn't walk away from this one. It's from Unplanned Peacock. I just love that name. Unplanned Peacock Studio. She's from Virginia.
That's really pretty. That's so you.
Yeah, isn't it? Superwash merino, sport weight, 328 yards, and it's just gorgeous. It's called Mermaid. It's teal and rust and yellow. And this is totally me. I can't wait to do something like this. And anyways, I'm thinking I might stripe it with a neutral. So that's the Unplanned Peacock. And then I got, this is my early Mother's Day gift from my mom. Distelfink or Dusselfink? We were debating.
It's Distelfink.
Okay, because my mom always said Dusselfink, and she grew up in the area.
It's Distelfink.
Okay, so Distelfink Fiber Company, which I love because we were very into Pennsylvania Dutch through my mom. This is a pinkette set in the colorway Letterpress, and it's got 6 different skates of varying colors. So it's not a gradient, but they do all go together to make something great for color block or something. Superwash merino cashmere nylon. So I'm sorry, I was so excited. I walked into that booth and I'm just like,
That's really cool.
That's
I like the name Letterpress is the colorway. Yeah. That's fun.
She had some beautiful shades, and she had a lot of these tonals in the big tanks too. I was taken by the colors. And then you get to play with more if you get the smaller heaps. So there's that, and then the last thing I got, well, not the last, I did get a little thing of black dye to play with, because I can't make a gray out of the Welton food coloring. So I'm going to play with, trying to get some grays with this, but I have to get some special equipment because this is not so I got that to play with. And then this is a knitted bead necklace kit with these balls, and you're supposed to, I guess, encase the balls with like a knitted circle, and the beads go around the outside, and then you string them on the cord. She had a bunch there that were pre-made, and they were kind of neat looking, so I thought, why not try something different? And her name is Knit and Jen, and she's out of Pittsburgh. So
nice.
A lot of relatively local. Where do these guys come from? No.
No idea.
Yeah, but they were. I'm thinking with Distelfink, it's probably Pennsylvania.
It's probably Pennsylvania.
So yeah, so
Ohio.
That was kind of fun to see a whole bunch of new people. And there were some rabbits, and there was a woman carrying a goat in a bag. This one woman was actually, she had her Angora rabbit, which was very much like the one we used to have on her lap. And she's pulling the fiber and spinning it right there, right off the rabbit.
That's awesome!
So yeah, that was really cool.
Did you get a picture?
No, I didn't. We didn't take a picture of that. It was like almost one of those things that I was so like just looking at everything, and everybody was so woo that I watched her, but it didn't occur to me to actually record it or But the rabbit was the same color as the one we used to have, and unfortunately ours used to she moved a lot, so she always roughed up her fur before we could do anything with it, and it was very dreadlocky. But this rabbit was beautiful, and it was just lying there on her lap, and she'd just pull out a head of him full of hair and spin it up. It was neat.
So she didn't card it first?
No, nothing. I'm sure she brushes the rabbit all the time. It was gorgeous. But actually, if you go to the SteelCityFiberFestival.com to their website. I think they might have some links to some of the stuff, and I believe the rabbit's there. So you can go see it.
And you were telling me about people who recycle Conans, too.
Yeah, there was a woman there, she and her husband, he designed this. It was kind of like an e-spinner that would core spin a length of thread around, I don't know if they were yarn or thread remnants, because there was a bundle of them, and they were not, it wasn't wool, whatever it was, it might have been another fiber, but they would wind them together to create a plied yarn out of these two recycled materials. So that they weren't recycled so much as reclaimed. They got them before they went to the landfill. It was just the edges that they would be used for other stuff. So that was really neat too. There was some very creative people there. Quilts.
I'm sorry I missed it.
It'll be back, I'm sure.
Oh,
I think
good.
it was received well enough that people will come back.
That's good.
So.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
You never know with the first time. It can be
I
a
know.
little bumpy. So we're going to get to some listener questions.
Yeah.
When we come back, stay with us.
So we're back and we've gotten the flowers out of our hair.
I don't know if I had any in mine.
Oh, you're pretty good. Everything gets caught in my hair. I had a bee get caught in my hair once, and that was the scariest thing ever. I'm driving down the road, and this bee flies in through the window from the wind, and it got stuck down here in this like curly section, and I could hear it buzzing, and I'm driving. It's probably the scariest thing ever. I didn't want to get stung. I didn't. It ended up flying into the back of the car. So anyway, we have a question today. We have a thread on our Ravelry group called "What's on Your Mind?" And Crazy Crafter 87 wrote us and asked us what got y'all into your respective crafts. And I'm quoting. She must be from the South. And what's the story behind starting the podcast? So I'll let you start. What got you started on your craft?
What got me started on my craft? Well, I started jewelry making when I was in high school.
Okay.
And when I was in high school, do you remember in the late 80s, early 90s when earrings were like a whole bunch of crap put together and they were like this big?
Yes.
So my first piece I ever made is I went to Fashion Book.
Okay.
And I bought one of those. It was a big shell. I think I still have it. It was a shell like this big with holes at the bottom and then all this stuff hanging out. So I took it apart and then used all the pieces and I made like real streamlined straight earrings. So that was the first piece I ever made. And from there I just started experimenting. You know, I would just take old pieces and redo them. Mm-hmm. Because at that time too, craft stores were different. Now there's a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby, you know, in these big places. At that time there was just 2 local craft stores. Mm-hmm. So you had to drive to them rather than like now you go to a shopping mall and there's a Michael's there or there's some sort of a craft store or you can go to Walmart and get it. Right. And I mean, although I have to say in department stores they tended to have a bigger craft section then. Like Kmart used to have yarn and beads and stuff like that. So anyway, but I used to use a lot of reclaimed stuff basically. Or I would just find jewelry, take it apart, and make new stuff. And then as far as doing horsehair jewelry, I began with that when I was in my early 20s, and I went on a business trip to Montana, and I was in the airport there, and I bought this barrette that had horsehair. They just did a simple 3-strand braid and attached it to the barrette, and they had some beads hanging off it. And I thought it was really neat, and I brought it home, and somebody I worked with said, you know, that people make that into other stuff. Okay. And so I got a book about it, and I read a couple of books, and I taught myself how to do it. Neat. So that was a long time ago.
And now you have a thriving business.
And now I have a business, and yeah. So that's how I got where I am. And, you know, from that I've taught at a couple different places, taught different types of jewelry classes, and I've tried different things. I tend to stay with jewelry, but I try other things. But nothing sticks as much as jewelry does.
Well, that seems to be timeless. You know, you can always make a new piece of jewelry because timeless in the sense that you'll always want some, but not in the sense that fashion styles change and you might want to make something different. Right. You know, so that, that's a good thing to know how to do.
So how about you? How did you get where you are today?
Well, I used to sew quite a bit in high school, and I don't think that that general crafting, like you were saying, was very big back then. Cross stitch, things like that were big, but I decided, my mom used to knit, and I decided I wanted to try to make something, and the only yarn I could find was like the 100% acrylic stuff from whatever store there was, and there were no patterns, hardly any at all, so everything I bought was from the store, that same store, whatever it was, and I ended up making this pink sweater with a cable down the center, crew neck, and a collar. And I think about it now, and I'm not sure I ever actually wore it, because it was very stylish for the 80s, but I'm not sure it fit me very well, because it's the first time and everything. But that was my first project. I didn't start on these little like dishcloths and things. I just learned how to knit and jumped right in with cables.
Well, there you go. That's one way to do it, right?
Yeah, and then I stopped for a while, and I ended up picking back up in like crochet in college. I did some things, and after I got into the workforce is when I made the humongous tunic length Loki sweater that was like a blanket. And then I tried my hand at more Aran cabling and just did little things throughout the years just for fun. But when my daughter, my oldest, was going to be born, I wanted to make her a sweater. I really wanted to make a baby sweater. And even then, there were stores, but not like we see today. So I went to a store and I found myself a beginning baby sweater pattern and some yarn. And I just made this really simple sweater. And I think the bug bit me pretty hard. And from that point, I've knitted just about every day.
Wow,
and I think
that's impressive.
Just the constant working with the yarn has taught me so much about how to manipulate it and how to make the shapes you want. So it's taken me a while, but I've been putting together designs probably on and off for the last 5 years under the weesheepknits brand. And now I'm feeling like I'm to the point where I can actually start to streamline the pattern process. So it's definitely, there are steps involved in getting from beginner knitter to making your own thing.
Knitting master, is that what they call it?
No, I'm not. I know I'm not a master.
Master knitter?
But yeah, you could. There is a master knitter course.
Is there really?
Yeah, you can be certified as a master knitter.
And if you are certified as a master knitter, what privilege does that give you?
I suppose you'd be more likely to be allowed to teach at bigger venues, or maybe a book would be more along your lines if you
Who regulates master knitters?
I'm not honestly sure. I want to say the Craft Yarn Council, but I could be completely wrong.
Huh.
So I'd have to look that up. But yeah, I know somebody who's trying it, and it's one of those things that I think you can just take as long as you want. Mm-hmm. But it's a process of knitting swatches and then submitting them for approval. And when they are to the caliber of what's expected, then you get your certificate. So that's maybe something to strive for now that, now that I'm more regular with my knitting. So that's kind of where that came from. And then the podcast was kind of my husband's idea. He kept encouraging me to teach people. And this was before I was teaching at the shop. I really didn't have a lot of outlets. I think I'd asked at Michael's at one point, and it just wasn't something that was clicking. So he's like, you know so much, tell people about it. And Sue just kind of came along for the ride, I think.
I did. She said, hey, I need a partner in crime.
Yeah. I think it's a little easier to talk to somebody than just talk to the camera. And I give a lot of credit to those podcasters out there who do just talk to the camera. But it's been fun. I think that I know I've learned stuff from you that I wouldn't have known before. And we've gotten to experiment with different things.
Right, exactly. Because when we pool our crafting supplies, we have a lot.
Yes.
And our crafting know-how.
Yeah, and I think it's been fun that we haven't been afraid to try things that maybe are silly, like the Pinterest things that they just seem kind of like that's not something I would do on my own just because. But here we have a scheduled time where we have to do something, so why not have a little fun with it?
Right, exactly. Well, there is that too. The podcast has encouraged me, at least in the past, not in the recent months, to actually do stuff because I get caught up in my life of, children and school and work and all that other stuff, and I like to create and I like to do stuff, and so podcast is like, oh, I have to have something to show. I better do something.
Yeah.
So it's helped encourage me to get back to being creative when I kind of fall off the wagon.
Yeah. And if it helps you guys know who we are, then great. You know, the purpose is not to advertise ourselves, but I'm sure that it does get our names out a little bit.
Yes.
So that's kind of where that came from, and it's an ever-evolving process.
Yes. It is. Some days we have good weeks where we have good runs.
Yes.
And other weeks it just, woo.
Yeah, this morning I wasn't sure where my head was going to be, but so far so good. Yeah, no, we have a good time. And I guess that's part of it too, that I like to do the podcast because it gives me a chance to laugh. And I think when you're by yourself all day long or you're working,
You never laugh
You
because
don't.
work is horrible.
well, no, but it's different. You know?
Yes, it is. I'm kidding.
Yeah. It's a bit of a break from the norm.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
So, what are you knitting?
Oh, it's my, there's a lawnmower.
Are you going to finish it before the end of before we sign off here?
No, I'm not, because I'm thinking that you're not going to be here for much longer.
This would be the downside of being outside, is other people have to do yard work.
Well, thanks, guys. I guess we'll cut it off at that point before this gets too loud. But thanks for joining us, and I hope you learned a little bit about us, and we'll see you soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Get outside. Do something fun.